So I just watched a 5-minute trailer of the DMZ first look and everything of that nature, and it didn't show a lot of information from the inventory system. We saw maybe the bandages and things of that nature. But Westy a couple days ago, like pretty much told about all the details on DMZ and everything of that nature, and I haven't got a chance to actually watch this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and react to it today and kind of get more in detailed on what we're gonna be seeing in DMZ, because it looked like immerse wise looked pretty cool, like in general. So I'm very excited to see.
Today, I've got brand new unreleased gameplay information for Modern Warfare 4's upcoming DMZ mode. Activision moved up our embargo, so here we are with all the details a day earlier than the reveal of the mode at the Xbox Games Showcase. I was part of a behind closed doors call about a week or so ago about this new DMZ mode.
Yeah, I know a lot of content creators got a chance to play multiplayer, but also play DMZ. And a lot of people were like had mixed feelings what I've seen on Twitter in general, but a lot of like DMZ extraction shooter guys were very exciting for this.
And I've got every piece of information that was detailed, spoken about, and explained, including new gameplay features, out-of-match elements like the forward operating base, crafting and looting.
Base? Forward operating base. So are we getting headquarters from World War II again? But it's only gonna be in Warzone? That is just a fucking missed opportunity if that's the case, bro. That is a missed opportunity. I've been saying for so long that headquarters was one of the best features that I wish Call of Duty would have kept doing in general, but they never did. Which sucks.
A brand new bounty system and tons more. So let's get stuck in. Drop a like on the video to support it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more DMZ content from me. When the last DMZ launched, we gained over 150,000 subscribers, and I'd love it if we could keep growing the channel for this new DMZ. Okay, so the DMZ section of the presentation was led by Joe Seacott and Jeffrey Smith, studio multiplayer creative directors at Infinity Ward.
We already know about Joe Seacott.
When they first released DMZ 4 years ago, alongside Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, that they didn't really see it as a proper one, and that this time around, they absolutely do. Quote,
yeah, like, I think they're probably going to say, let me listen here.
"We had more time," end quote, says Jeff.
Okay, that's what he was saying. I heard basically saying the DMZ, pretty much the Modern Warfare 2 or the Modern Warfare, the previous DMZ was DMZ beta. This is DMZ 1.0 or DMZ for short, pretty much. And a lot of people are like, from a YouTube perspective, like, how am I titling this?
Free. The DMZ beta taught them a lot of lessons about what players actually want from an extraction shooter, and they've seen what's been going on in the wider space with all the other titles coming out, players interacting with those and what they like and don't like. And all of those lessons are being applied here in this new version of DMZ.
Cool.
So gameplay is going to be deeper, there's going to be more meaningful player growth and progression, and a tagline that I saw during the presentation was DMZ is, quote, "the action extraction shooter," end quote. More on that.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm getting from that is full on PvP, all out fucking crack. Like pretty much what Call of Duty would be intended, so I have no issue with that.
Later in the video. The narrative behind this DMZ, the story and the lore, it bleeds in from Modern Warfare 4's single-player campaign, where a nuclear reactor has melted down and an exclusion zone has been created around it. This location is called Hajin, a map that's been created in collaboration with the single-player team, and well, it's a pretty big one. It's contaminated with radiation.
That's what I've been I also say this a lot of times. Like, the single-player guys that make these maps on top of them collaboration with DMZ, so this map is 10 times bigger than probably a Warzone map, or about, I'm not saying 10 times bigger than a Warzone map, but probably a little bit bigger than a Warzone map, if I had to say so. And I wonder if this is going to be, quote unquote, the Warzone map. They haven't confirmed anything about it yet, but this does look cool so far. What I've seen in the trailer too.
As well. According to the team, the map has been designed to help tell stories through the environment via exploration and discovery, with those things tying into the narrative-driven story missions that you'll have to complete, as well as setting the stage for what you're actually fighting for in DMZ.
Okay.
You're an off-the-book CIA asset being sent in behind enemy lines to retrieve secret military technology that cannot fall into the enemy hands at any cost. You need to infill, secure these weapons of mass destruction, and get out, all whilst interacting with or avoiding AI and the other real players.
Okay, so there is, like, well, I thought it was, it's going to be mainly PvP, but there is going to be AI bots inside the match that you have to go after. Like, they were showing that big juggernaut guy in that beginning of the trailer, where we got the first look at DMZ.
There are operators who are in there doing the same thing. Now, the AI themselves are more diverse and rich, I'd say, in their implementation compared to previous DMZ versions. But other real player operators, the setup is exactly the same. You can choose to cooperate with these players, you can communicate with them and work together, or you can take them out, steal all their loot, and extract with everything else that you've collected along the way.
See, like, I've always wondered, like, depending on the community, like, Arc Raiders, it's more of like a split down the middle, solo, like, I'm just a PvE guy, I ain't trying to fight you guy, or I'm straight PvP, or in between, depending on the player. I wonder how Call of Duty is going to play out. Like, I'm generally thinking 90% of the time, because it's Call of Duty and it's such a fucking, like, I'm going to shoot first, ask question later type of game, I feel like it's going to go that route.
The Hajin map has several distinct POIs, including Hajin City, Casino, Hospital, Mill Base, Farmlands, Prison, Broadcast, Dead Town, and Fallout, all spread across 3 different land masses: South Korea, North Korea, and Russia. The majority of Hajin is set in the South Korean exclusion zone, where the radioactive fallout is at its worst. And I believe up in the north is the North Korean area, and then I think tucked away in the northeast corner is the Russian section. Now today I can't show you any of this,
I like to see that.
What I got to see in the presentation, the map itself looks to be largely land-based, with a coastline on the east side and a large river circling all the way round, with bits of land beyond the river to the south, west, and north. Hajin City looks like it's got plenty of larger buildings, more vertical areas, and other POIs are flatter and more single plane. The map is being described as a living world that's trapped in this state of evacuation after the nuclear fallout from the reactor exploding. Air traffic and different convoys of vehicles will be moving cargo across the map. Low-tier grunt...
Okay, so that's what we're seeing in the match during that first look. Those are AI that I'm like, I don't know if you're able as a player to obtain those tanks. If that's the case, that is just crazy and absurd. But at the same time, it doesn't shock me because they were showing off helicopters and a bunch of stuff like that. So it doesn't shock me.
AI are scattered all over in different tiers from 1 to 3. And then expanding on the original DMZ set of enemies, we're now going to see hostile elites, dangerous lieutenants, and roaming commanders. These additional levels of AI that get progressively tougher for you to fight. Roaming commanders will include juggernauts, tanks, swarms of drones, and helicopter bosses.
So that makes about sense, but I was thinking about the tanks as well.
Quote the team used was, quote, "You push the world pushes back," end quote. This idea that the AI enemies and everything happening in the zone is dynamic, so if you engage with it, expect it to come back at you in some way. Now, something brand new to DMZ on this Hajin map is the star system, a bit like a wanted rating, where when you start shooting at and killing enemy AIs in an area, it will end up being reinforced with tougher AI to come and fight you. And this extends beyond just soldier AI walking around on the ground. New vehicle AI enemies will start chasing you, like helicopters with RPGs firing down on top of them.
Jeez. That's just giving off that. This is going to be insanity. It's giving off like survival from Modern Warfare 3. Like, I remember playing that religiously at times when I was a kid, and I just like remember helicopters being so annoying at certain levels and waves are in there. So imagine what they could do nowadays with those things. Oh,
you, ground vehicles chasing you, and even more. But to complement that new wanted system, there's another new one. The stealth system, which is going to allow you to control the pace of combat against AI. Essentially, we're getting the presence detection systems from single-player games in DMZ, where if an AI is about to spot you, an in-game HUD icon will tell you that.
Okay,
and
that's
you can
cool.
quickly dip back into cover to stop that detection moment. Any current DMZ player is going to know how annoying it is to get shot by an AI who was looking at you from over 100 meters away. Well, here in the new version of DMZ, you're going to have greater control over that actually happening, which is great to hear.
Oh, that's cool. I love that aspect that they're adding there, because that like literally makes this game, when it comes to a DMZ or an extraction shooter perspective, you can pretty much not deal with AI, but I know definitely you're gonna have to deal with AI at some point to get loot and stuff like that. But being able to choose who to shoot and who not to shoot, I like that.
Actually, if you kill an enemy AI with a suppressed weapon, that won't count towards your star rating increasing, which is another way to control the engagements that you have with AI enemies on the map. And as somebody who's basically played the current version of DMZ almost exclusively with suppressors, I think I'm going to continue to do that.
Okay, so I never played in a very long time. I have to try it.
DMZ's brand new dynamic weather system, something that was rumored to be coming to the original DMZ a long time ago, but it never saw the light of day. Well, now it's coming to this exclusion zone. The dynamic weather system was built with the idea that no raid should ever feel the same in DMZ. And while combat and action in the current DMZ on Al Mazrah can feel very different raid to raid, always fighting in a hot, sunny desert does get pretty old pretty quickly.
I agree, yeah,
we saw just how fun Al Mazrah can play at night with the Haunted event where the team turns out the lights, and that was pretty awesome. So the team has channeled that here into Hajin's dynamic weather system. So when you infill onto the map, sometimes it will be sunny, but sometimes it will be raining, or it might be snowing, or it might be foggy. Lots of different conditions that are going to impact how your round plays out from the very beginning.
I kind of like that because, like, just repetitiveness in games, especially when you're like, I can imagine, I don't like play Tarkov that much, but like playing Arc Raiders for a little bit, like if I don't switch maps on a constant basis and try different things out, I get bored playing like the PvP maps. I think it's called Stella. Like I forgot Stella Montez. That's Call of Duty, I think. I'm forgetting the goddamn map in Arc Raiders. Holy crap! It's been so long.
Conditions like snow or fog will end up limiting your visibility somewhat, and there's a grading system to the weather as well. So sometimes it will be really raining, like a proper storm, and sometimes it will just be drizzling, and it will just be a bit murky. And the team is working on implementing a ramp up in severity in the weather conditions as the round progresses. So as you approach the end of your deployment, the weather will end up being at its most severe. And all of this again feeds back into the world of DMZ feeling like it's alive. A lot more so than the old version anyway. Okay, so that's the basis of DMZ and the Hajin map, the area where you're going to be fighting and extracting. Now let's dive deeper into some of the gameplay mechanics that you can expect, starting with the different ways that you can play this version of DMZ. There's story missions, dynamic operations, and free roam. Story missions tells the narrative of DMZ. So for example, the team stated that there's a mission where you need to infill and capture an injured soldier from a hospital on the map and then get them out of the exclusion zone so that you can extract some intel from them. Another is needing to infiltrate the military base, which Joe confirmed is the hardest POI in Hajin. When you choose the story missions matchmaking option, you'll be matchmade with a bunch of other teams and players who also have the same mission to complete.
Oh, that's just all out war. If you're like, oh, I love that. Because that turns into a big scenario because like only one person gets to complete the mission in that match. So it just turns into hecticness.
Dynamic operations is a bit of a spin on the old contracts in DMZ, where when you choose this matchmaking option, you'll also be matchmade with others who need to complete these contracts. But the steps to complete them are randomized. So for example, maybe you need to take out an HVT or blow up an outpost. You'll know that when you infill into the map, but the steps that you have to take to complete it are random every single time.
Okay.
And then free roam is basically DMZ with the training wheels off, as you currently know it. You know what you're doing.
Okay, so pretty much that's mainly what most people are going to be running unless they have tasks to do in progression and stuff of that nature. But free roam is probably going to be the main thing.
You know what you want to do, so you're going to infill and you're going to try and complete that. Pretty much how DMZ works right now. All of these matchmaking options exist together at the same time, so regardless of which option you take, you're going to be jumping into the same world together. So really, anything can happen. That's the emergent gameplay that DMZ is known for, and that's...
Okay, so it's still random regardless. I thought at first, when he meant by that, I thought everybody in the match is doing that same objective. It's only the one in your squad doing the same objective.
What the dev team wants to channel with this new version. Next, we're going to talk about DMZ's progression, and this is really important. This time, it's completely dedicated to the game mode and separate from the rest of Modern Warfare 4. And the team on the call many times described DMZ as a game within a game. As you play...
Thank you. And I'm going to premise this, and I'm going to say this a million times. I know they'll never do this for free-to-play because of hackers and their situations with the anti-cheat. Probably never happened. Prime example of what Warzone is at the moment of time. And it's just terrible. Like, the hacking situation in FPS games are through the roof, sadly. But at the same time, also, even if you pay $70, people are still doing it. Like, like, it's so cheap to get accounts and stuff like that now, and it's just lame and disgusting, and it makes Call of Duty and other games just terrible to play at times if you're one of those high-ranking players.
DMZ, you're going to earn XP from all the different actions that you do, like completing missions, killing AI, killing enemy players, extracting items, etc., etc. And all of that will feed back into your DMZ level and will unlock new features. That experience that you earn will also progress your brand new trait tree, which if you've played...
Thank you. So we're getting a trait tree. And I'm guessing if I'm not mistaken on what he's saying DMZ level, so I'm guessing the DMZ level is separate from the multiplayer level. If that is the case, I kind of love that. I know a lot of people are going to have a little bit of a different opinions on this, but I've said this multiple times, and I'll say this a million times. I think they need to separate. I think multiplayer needs to be multiplayer. Warzone needs to be Warzone. It needs to be cut off from... That's like, there's no confirmed thing from actual Modern Warfare 4 and Infinity Ward on what they're doing with Warzone. So we have no clue. So I'm guessing it's going to stay where it is in this moment of time. There's no confirmed things. And like DMZ just being DMZ, having a leveling system, if you play that game, you play it.
Other extraction shooters will sound familiar to you.
Yeah.
DMZ 1 didn't feature this at all, but it did feature active duty slots which housed different loadouts and equipment that you'd looted during raids. Well, now in this new version of DMZ, those active duty slots are going to be combined with a trait tree for each individual operator.
Oh, that's
so you
cool.
can take different geared and different themed operators into raids and lean into specific playstyles that you've built via the trait tree.
That's awesome.
On the call, the devs gave examples of having different operators specifically that lean into PvP via the trait tree, and then others that are really good at looting and focused on PvE elements. And the trait tree is tied to the specific operator, which is how you define how you're going to want to play. The image that I was shown listed looting, combat, and utility as different branches on this tree.
Okay.
This is going to be a massive upgrade on DMZ1, essentially building real progression into the mode, and yeah, it goes even further. As you know, when you die in an...
I literally said this, I'm like, I need an end game or a progression system that feels rewarding. And what I'm hearing so far is good, so far so good for DMZ alone. Like, I might, if multiplayer is not like amazing and DMZ is just goated and so fun to actually play and like it's such a crazy good replayability, I might be DMZ all way day.
You lose all your stuff and you end up back in the main menu.
Okay.
Well, the dev team has developed what they're calling the MIA system. This allows you to bring back or rescue your downed operator from the exclusion zone using in-game cash that you've earned from missions and looting, and bring them back into the menu so you're able to continue the trait tree progression of that operator.
But do you keep what's in the inventory or you just revive the character? I'm guessing it's
this rescue will reinstate your already purchased traits on that operator, any unspent trait points, and the dog tag of that specific operator. But any looted items that you were carrying at the time you were killed are lost.
Yeah, you just answered the question I was just asking. Duh.
The kicker is the cost of recovering your operator. The more
Ooh.
experience and traits that operator has, essentially, the more you've used that operator, the higher the cost is going to be to
Ooh, it's gonna
rescue
get
them
expensive.
via the
It's
MIA
gonna get
system. So
expensive.
it's a little bit like an insurance policy. I think this is really cool, having active duty slots tied with different trait trees, so you're creating different archetypes of operator, so you can play DMZ in different ways with different traits and abilities.
Oh,
It
that's cool.
sounds really, really cool. Next, we're going to talk about something else that DMZ1 massively missed on, and that this new version of DMZ is definitely going to satisfy a lot of people with, and that's the forward operating base. This is your new out-of-raid home, essentially, where everything you do in DMZ feeds back into. As you increase your DMZ rank, you'll unlock different stations and functions within the forward operating base, and it's going to visually change in front of you with those unlocks and upgrades. You're going to unlock stations like the 3D printer, which you
I'm hoping it's more like headquarters. Not that the players are around you or whatever the case may be. More of it being more than just a small room. So like just a small room. That's what I'm hoping we don't get, like a small room, kind of like Tarkov, what they showed. Like they feel like it looks cool to be in and like doing gear, getting stuff that I need, and just walk around. I want something like that.
can use to craft items for your operator outside of raids. A vendor where you can buy different items, the gunsmith, and even more. You'll have seen
Alright.
other extraction shooters do this. For example, Arc Raiders has a set of workbenches that you unlock and upgrade in order to craft different items.
Yeah, but like that's the one thing I don't kind of want. I kind of want ability to walk around, but I don't like that's too much for Call of Duty. Like or even Arc Raiders never done it or whatever the case may be. I kind of want to like have a system where I can walk around. I'm like I'm gonna go here. Let me craft that or whatever the case may be. Some people are like, oh, I just want to be in and out. I don't want to be that, but sometimes I just want to be immersed into like DMZ in the world itself. So I kind of prefer the headquarters approach. This is my opinion.
The different vendors that sell you items have levels to them, etc., etc. But where this forward operating base really makes sense for DMZ is with the link into looting that you do in raids and crafting that you can do out of the raid with your 3D printer. DMZ now has a properly meaningful loot table because you'll need to extract different materials and key printer ingredients in order to craft different equipment and gear with your 3D printer.
So that's like giving a little bit of Arc Raiders. Like you have to like you gotta get duct tape. You gotta get like certain things to get certain attachments, make attachments, do a bunch of stuff like that. So it really is interesting that they're going that approach, kind of like the Arc Raiders approach. With that, because that is really cool to know.
So all of those useless items that you used to see in DMZ1, things like light bulbs, bandages, AFACs, cigar boxes, all of that back then was essentially pointless. In this new version of DMZ, looting actually matters because if you don't work to bring all of that stuff out with you, you won't be able to craft everything. Of course, you will be able to loot things like backpacks and plate carriers within the DMZ, but not every single time are you going to find that stuff. So being able to craft things back in your forward operating base...
Yes, that's what I've been asking for. Like, that's what... Like, this might be a hot take. Like, a lot of people that never, like... They never liked extraction shooters was the barrier of entry or the ability of every time dying, there's never a way to... or an easier way with cash or whatever the case may be, to have stuff to make guns and stuff like that and actually go in fighting full geared out and not constantly like, oh, I'm going to go out and grab all this stuff, whatever the case may be. If I do die, there's a chance because I have money to go grab the stuff that I need to do that. But that's like kind of similar to Arc Raiders when I compare that.
That's going to be pretty important. Over time, you'll be able to upgrade your 3D printer so it can craft better items, and if you collect recipes from around Hajin and extract them, you'll be able to craft rare, powerful items. You'll be able to print directly to your operator, ready for your next raid, or you can print items to your stash and save them for later. Each operator in this version of DMZ will have their own loadout as well, similar to the active duty slots that you know from DMZ1,
Mm-hmm.
but this time they don't share any items. So weapons, secondaries, plate carriers, backpacks, lethals, tacticals, kill streaks, all of that is individual to each operator. This is
Oh, that's
basically
awesome.
the #1 feature that DMZ needed, and it's getting it.
Yeah, because I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember their play to win elements. I wouldn't be shocked if they do this too. With certain operators have like the UAV or something like that, and it was only used for that operator alone, and it was kind of like cheesy in a way. And I was like, okay, this is just no, I don't like that. So I'm glad they're going this route.
Super excited. And then let's talk about something that I didn't really expect at all, but I think is a feature that could really explode in this new version of DMZ. It's called the bounty system. As soon as the team detailed this on the call, my mind was already running away with what this system could end up producing, so let me tell you about it. According to Joe, PvP is the team's bread and butter with DMZ, and they wanted to make sure that PvP was super rewarding as much as possible in this new version. The way the new bounty system works is, when you infill into a raid, if you start shooting and killing other players, unprovoked, so they haven't shot you first, not in self-defense, you're going on the offensive, and you shoot other operators first, the game will start developing a reputation level for you. The more players you kill, the more that reputation builds.
Kind of similar how they do matchmaking and art. Well, it's not like art matchmaking. It's like individual matchmaking inside the match itself, not like an Arc Raiders where they have like a system of like, oh, if he kills a lot, we're gonna put him in these lobbies. I'm not 100% sure if that was a fact, but every time I'm in matches, I'm definitely in PvP land, not PvE land.
And at some point, after you've killed enough players, you'll have a bounty placed on your head. If you keep killing more players and you keep extracting, that bounty will increase and increase and increase. If an enemy kills...
So, oh my god, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. Like, this is not even for a content perspective, but just imagine like a streamer, right? Because most likely streamers are crackheads. And they just have like $100,000 bounty on their head. And like, you're in that lobby with that individual. Like, the whole lobby's gonna hunt you down. And it gives this immersion and this like fear. I'm like, oh, this whole lobby's coming after me without a fact. But I'm just better than everybody else. I'm just gonna kill everybody, right? And that alone is just gonna be entertainment from both sides of the coin, from a content perspective and an actual player perspective.
You and takes your dog tag whilst you have a bounty on you, and they extract that dog tag, they will claim that bounty amount for themselves, and it will be added to their in-game cash amount.
That's awesome.
If you manage to kill enough players with that operator, and you don't die and people don't take your dog tags, eventually your bounty climbs so high that you'll enter wanted status territory. This means that other players in a match that you're in will be able to bring up their in-game tablet, pay for intel on your location, and come hunt you and try and kill you. So essentially, the team has taken some elements of the...
See, like, that is a dope-ass element. Right off the bat there, from a PvP perspective, like, as soon as you see it on the map, like, I can imagine the UI, this pops up, bounty here, I'm like, look for this guy, oh my god, it'd be hunting.
Old school DayZ hero and bandit system.
Yes.
Build it into a feature that works for DMZ, injected the element of jeopardy of you losing your wanted status and creating an environment where you can either be wanted as like a PvP deviant, or you can be a bounty hunter and try and keep the streets of Hajin clear and top up your bank balance at the same time.
Like, that is a cool, like, it gives so much story. That's what I mean, like, okay, so DMZ is a looter extraction shooter, right? But it also has the elements of, like, a story-based thing. Like, every match is going to be different because proximity chat, people are going to be weird, and things are going to happen in Call of Duty because it's Call of Duty. And then you give the bounty, like, you kill someone with a bounty and you're the bounty hunter, like, it seems like a badass concept, and you're like also like kind of like the One Piece perspective, like someone's wanted, like I'm like at this level, you have to come and try to kill me type of perspective. That is cool.
The team is also working on leaderboards for this feature, which are going to highlight the top 50 killers and the top 50 bounty hunters each week, and you'll be able to see those leaderboards adapt and change as killers get killed off.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That is awesome.
More rewards.
That is awesome.
And the team has said there will be friend leaderboards as well, so you can keep track of what your friends are doing and maybe compete with them to be the best killer or the best bounty hunter.
Oh, that's awesome.
I actually think this feature is genius. We all know
facts.
DMZ is a PvP heavy experience, but now instead of those PvP fights being just for the loot, you're playing for a lot more. If you're somebody who likes to kill others and boost their wanted status, you're essentially fighting to protect that wanted status at the same time, because if you
can be the evil or you can be the bounty hunter.
Well, you're all the way back down the bottom again. And if you're somebody who likes to help others and protect them in-game, you can build a profile of being an elite bounty hunter and signal to other players that you're more friendly. An absolutely awesome system. And on top of it being perfect for DMZ, I could actually see this being a big feature that's going to draw in other players, potentially.
Yeah, I generally think this feature is going to set itself apart from other PvP extraction shooters just alone. That alone, because I don't know if Tarkov has this. I don't know. I don't think Arc Raiders has any of this nature from that perspective. And they're more a mixture of bang PvE and PvP, so I don't think they'll ever add something like that. They're trying to keep it that way. But like Tarkov, for example, or what's the other extraction shooter that so many people play? It's kind of similar. It's like a futuristic Battlefield. I forgot the name of it now, like off the top of my head. But at the same time, like if we get something, and I feel like I think you start to see some people coming in here for that perspective. And also, you might see other extraction shooters follow in that same footsteps. Wouldn't be shocked.
Other Warzone players. Well, that was a lot of information. And
yes,
of course,
sir.
That all comes without any trailer or gameplay accompanying it. And we're going to get to see some of that tomorrow at the Xbox Showcase. This new version of DMZ sounds incredible, and I can't wait to play it. And hopefully today this video has given you a little bit of an insight, probably quite a bit more of an insight,
way more
into the kind of game that we're getting this time
Westy,
around.
you the goat.
From what I've learned, it's much deeper, it's much richer in terms of gameplay, and it's chock full of new features that are going to put DMZ...
Yeah, Westy, dude, your videos are awesome. I always loved your Battlefield content. And obviously DMZ and Warzone back in the day when you started doing that as well. But at the same time, it's just, dude, so much information. This alone, my favorite thing out of all of this is the bounty system. Yes, that's going to set itself apart, and it's just definitely genius. But my also favorite thing also is the operation base. The forward operation base is what they're calling it. I want to see what it actually looks like. But my perspective is, if they do it right and they give it to not like just a screen where you go over, oh, there's the 3D printer, let me just scope over, kind of like Arc Raiders. But I really want a kind of like an open area where you have your character, and you're walking around with your character to grab stuff, do this stuff, even if it's a smaller area, just to be able to kind of walk around in game. Just like in headquarters with World War II, I feel like it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't do so. I've been saying, like, one of the missed opportunities Call of Duty has missed in a very long time is having a social space in Call of Duty. World War II was so fucking fun. Like, obviously, you can press start and you can find a match, or you can be inside the headquarters. And I feel like I wish they did that now. Because like the skins and the camos and all that stuff like that, like if you prestige, you can sit there in front of everybody. If you like, you get the Damascus camo or get the mastery camo in multiplayer, it will like do like a fucking thing for it, like stuff of that nature, dude. Like people walking in, oh, he just got that, like, you know what I mean? The social aspect. I'm always a social guy when it comes to games. Like Destiny is like a prime example. Rest in peace, Destiny. If they do something like that, man, please. I hope it's something like that. But I'm very curious on what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think of DMZ? What do you guys think? What is your actual favorite part of this video? Are you excited for the bounty system? What do you think of what the operation base is going to look like? What do you think about the inventory system? everything of that nature. Be curious in the comment section down below. As always, guys, this is Links. I'll see you guys next time.